Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina said the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, was the first among many Bengali politicians who realized that the artificial state Pakistan was not born to exist. Pakistan was an artificial state of two far-flung nations founded on the basis of religion, but having no similarity in their languages, cultures or behavior. Artificially, the two nations of about 12,000 miles distance were connected, and soon after creation of Pakistan, the rulers swooped an attack on the language of the majority people, which led the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, to realize that Pakistan was not born to exist, she said. The Prime Minister was speaking at a seminar organized by Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Memorial Trust, marking the historic March 7 at a city's Krishibid Institute Auditorium in the capital this afternoon. Sheikh Hasina said the call of Bangabandhu made on March 7, 1971 was the charter of independence of the Bengali nation, and his well thought out and sagacious steps and movements have given the nation a status of a free nation. The Prime Minister expressed her firm optimism that the historic speech of Bangabandhu would guide the new generation to be imbued with hopes, aspirations and patriotism, and thus they would remember the great leader forever. Sheikh Hasina, the eldest daughter of Bangabandhu, said the March 7th speech of Bangabandhu is an inspiration for the oppressed people of the world who are still fighting for their political and economic freedom. She said as an independent nation, Bangladesh would live keeping its head high. The Prime Minister said no one will be able to erase the name of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, from the hearts of the Bengalis. Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir has said the next parliamentary elections will be held in a free, fair and neutral manner under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, and his party is ready to accept defeat in such polls. The minister said this at a Golden Jubilee function of the Master Da Shurjo Sen Hall at TSC of the Dhaka University today. With Master Da Shurjo Sen Hall Provost Professor ASM Maqsood Kamal in the chair, the function was addressed among others by Hall's Alumni Association convener Shirajum Munir and Dhaka University Vice Chancellor Professor AAMS Arifin Siddiq. Obaidul Qadir said Sheikh Hasina will remain the head of the election time government, but she would never influence the election result even if she suffers defeat. Obaidul Qadir said those who have extended their hands to the communal forces to halt Awami League and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina have actually invited dangers upon themselves. Earlier, the Prime Minister flew a balloons at TSC to inaugurate the function. Later on the occasion of Golden Jubilee of Master Da Shurjo Sen Hall, a colourful procession was brought out. South Korea's Constitutional Court upheld the impeachment of President Park Geun-hye today, removing her from office over a graft scandal involving big business that has gripped the country for months. Mrs. Park becomes South Korea's first democratically elected leader to be forced from the office of the president and could face criminal charges. An election must now be held within 60 days. Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-ahn has been appointed acting president and will remain until the election. Meanwhile, the Constitutional Court's ruling sparked violent protests from the Park supporters. 2 persons died following clashes with police outside the court's building. Several U.S. states have launched legal challenge against President Donald Trump's revised travel ban. Mr. Trump signaled an executive order placing a 90-day ban on people from 6 mainly Muslim countries on Monday. A day after Hawaii launched its own lawsuit, Washington, Massachusetts, Oregon, New York and Minnesota seek to block the president's immigration order. Hawaii states argued it would harm its Muslim Muslim population, tourism and foreign students. And New York maintains the new directive is a ban on Muslims, while Washington says it is harmful to the state. Meanwhile, the U.S. Department of Justice is deploying additional 50 judges to immigration detention centers to clear a backlog of more than 500,000 cases. The judges will boost the President Trump's push to toughen enforcement of the law on illegal immigration. The U.S. has sent 400 additional troops to Syria to support an allied local force aiming to capture militant organization Islamic State stronghold of Raqqa. They include Marines who arrived in the past few days. U.S. Special Forces are already in Syria. Meanwhile, U.S.-led coalition airstrikes killed 20 civilians, including children, near the city. Foreign ministers and senior officials from 68 nations and international organizations have been invited to attend a two-day gathering in Washington for talks on Raqqa situation beginning on 22nd March. And now the latest weather situation. Dhaka Met Office says a trough of low lies over the North Bay. Under its influence, deep convection is continuing over the North Bay. Squally weather may affect the maritime ports, North Bay, and adjoining coastal areas of Bangladesh. Maritime ports of Chittagong, Cox's Bazar, Mongla and Paira have been advised to keep hoisted local cautionary signal number 3. I repeat, signal number 3. All fishing boats and trawlers over North Bay have been advised to remain near the coast and proceed with caution till further notice. And now news on sports. Bangladesh require 390 runs more to win the goal test against Sri Lanka. The Tigers scored 67 runs with no loss, ending the fourth day chasing the victory target of 457 runs. Tamim Iqbal and Shomo Sarkar were on the crease with 13 and 53 runs respectively. Earlier, Sri Lanka started their second innings batting and declared the innings on 274 runs for 6. Bangladesh scored 312 runs against Sri Lanka's 494 runs in the first innings. And before we end the news, another look at tonight's headlines. Memory of Bangabandhu to remain forever in the heart of Bengali nation, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at discussion on 7th March speech. Parties forging tie with communal forces are inviting their own danger, comments Awami League General Secretary Obaidul Qadir. The government takes initiative to elevate 60,000 homesteads in flood-prone areas of 19 districts, informs Disaster Management and Relief Minister. South Korean President Park Geun-hye ousted from power as court upholds impeachment. Goal, Tigers need 390 more runs to win the test against Sri Lanka.
That's all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us, and we invite you to watch our 11:30 Bangla News. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.
Khuda Hafiz.